Do you ever think about paths? Um, Paths. Everything alive wears paths. If it moves around, I say everything alive. Obviously, trees are alive. They don't make paths. All us mobile life forms make paths if we go the same way over and over. And this path that we're looking at here, this goes from my back door to my chicken house gate. Every morning I let the chickens out. Every night I shut them back up. I have to feed them. I have to water them. So there's a lot of traffic here. If you look over here, it's hard to see because of the shadow, but there's a path here that runs across the yard and over near that other building. That path is new. That was made by my dog Bandit. Bandit just came to live here a few months ago, and he's already worn that path. Bandit is right here in all his radiant dog glory. Here's another path. This one goes to the barn and to Abraham. Abraham is another of my responsibilities, my helpers. And I go there at least twice every day to feed and water and check on him. There's another path right here alongside the house. This one's brand new. Bandit just made this since he moved here. This is not a route that I normally walked. So paths work quickly. And if you look at that path now, it's fine. You know, the grass is still protecting the soil, and although the grass is visibly worn down there, it still protects the soil. The soil won't wash away significantly there. But by next year, that'll be a wash spot because Bandit will wear that grass down to the point where it doesn't, it's not able to cover the ground. And annuals, which cover the ground when perennials can't, won't be able to take root either because of the wear from the feet. Now, if you look at my made path here, you see that it's made of impermeable material. That's not a good thing because the land needs moisture for anything to live. Even, you know, things that don't need sun still have to have moisture. But this impermeable material is small pieces. And if you look, there's life under it. I'm looking at living spiders here. These slices here, Bandit, out of there. Come here. Come on over here. That's a boy. These paths here, these are worm paths. And so even though the paving stone is impermeable, the land still gets the benefit of water. So we can, if we choose to, we can pave paths and protect the soil from eroding away. I'm going to pause this momentarily, if I can. You can see this path here going across this yard. This is also Bandit's path. This path, we go this way from time to time, but we don't follow one path like the Bandit does. So he's made this path once again in just the few months that he's lived here. Bandit, you're a good guy, but you're looking at another path here. This is also a Bandit path, but this is also a lane. This lane existed when we had cattle and sheep who we rotationally grazed on this property, and goats. And so this lane has a eroded path runs down it because without any sort of pavement to protect it, the continued traffic from the animals wore away the grass and then began to wear away the soil. When the soil's exposed to sunlight or to the sky, every time it rains, soil washes away. And so if you don't have some way to pave your paths, they become areas of land degradation. And our problem now, what we call climate change, is really that we have massively degraded the systems of our planet. Well, one of the systems that we've degraded is the carbon cycle. We've overloaded it on the new carbon side, and we have undermined its ability to remove carbon. So we've actually caused carbon to accumulate in our atmosphere by two different systems, two different ways at the same time, and we're conscious of one of them, and we pretty much decided to ignore the other one, but they're both there. So when we think of our world, we'll have to think of it as each individual part of it has to be healed. What we need to do to halt this thing we're calling climate change is we need to heal the systems, plural, of the earth, which, when operating properly, maintained the balance which we developed civilization during. We've been here for at least 150,000 years. The last ice age went away about 10,000 years ago, and sometime shortly after that ice age, we discovered or invented, however you want to look at it, annual grain agriculture. And over the course of that 10,000 years, between then and now, the ecosystems of the planet have been roughly stable. The amount of carbon in the atmosphere has been roughly stable. The vegetative cover of the planet has been roughly stable. And because of those things which work together, the climate has been roughly stable, and it has been very good, beneficial for humankind. It's enabled us to feed 7.5 billion of ourselves, poorly, admittedly, but still, that's how many are alive. But we're degrading all those systems. We're not just emitting too much carbon. We're degrading all those systems. And even the paths on my tiny farm are an issue. And if I don't find a way to address that specific issue, there will be further degradation here as a result of this one really very good large dog. He's not meaning to hurt anything. He's a good guy. But, well, he's not perfect, you know. He hauls all this stuff out of buildings and spreads it all over the farm, but he's a good guy. But we can't just ignore the degradation that our culture is causing. There are too many of us. You know, at the year 1 CE, the year that one basic religion thinks that Jesus Christ was born. In that year, there were about one person on earth where every 21 people are today. And those 21 people are making deeper, worse paths than that one person did. Even if we hadn't invented cars, if we hadn't invented things that burn hydrocarbons, if we hadn't invented the Industrial Revolution, we would still be facing trouble just strictly as a result of the pressure that all 7.5 billion of us place on this planet. What we need to do, should we choose to survive, which I think we're not going to. I think we're going to choose something else. But should we choose to survive, what we need to do is we need to take our entire culture and modify it so that the primary objective is to halt the degradation of Earth in all ways and to begin the healing of those things which we have already degraded in all ways, and then to develop our new technology in order that and in ways that enable it to begin to return towards the roughly stable condition that prevailed for most of the last 10,000 years. That's all for this. Thank you.